Welcome back to the Varkha Chulani channel. Trust all of you watching are safe and well. These past few weeks, death has been nearly at our doorstep. Either we have lost someone we've loved or know of people close enough who are no more. And it is about the emotion of grief that I want to cover today. It is something that most of us are afraid of. And some of us really struggle not knowing how to cope with the news of loss. First of all, grief is not something to be afraid of. It is something that has to be experienced and allowed. In a way, sometimes it is important for us to welcome it into our homes. I know it sounds a little ironical and paradoxical, but it is something to be experienced because grief is nothing but a flip side of love. We only grieve people we love, and it is important to keep the sentiments of those that we have loved alive. We actually welcome the emotion because bereavement is a process that occurs after loss. It is a process of mourning and it cannot be short-circuited or short-changed. And it is important for us as humans to allow ourselves the emotion of grief so that our coping and our ability to live with longing continues. I also want to make a distinctive difference between grief and depression. They are radically different, ideationally and cognitively. What do I mean? There are 5 clear-cut differences between grief and depression. Grief is intense sadness. Depression is a hopelessness. Grief is acceptance of loss. Depression, more often than not, is non-acceptance. Grief is about acknowledging of external loss. In depression, it becomes extremely personal and all about the self. In grief, it is never about one's own worth being compromised because of the person who we have lost not being available to us. Depression is all about a sense of worthlessness where we believe that we are not good enough, that we are worthless, and the ideation is, oh poor me, how am I going to continue to live without this person's presence in my life? Grief never leads to thoughts of self-harm. Usually, depression often has suicidal ideation. I just want to reiterate the distinctive difference between grief and depression, and for all of us to acknowledge that we grieve when we accept the reality. We have feelings of intense sadness. There is no aspect of the self involved where we are able to acknowledge that it is an event which is external from us. There is no sense of worthlessness or any aspects of self-harm. As I said, death is a tragedy for the living. And as we have seen, there have been some tragedies happening all around us. It is important for us to be able to be human, which is to experience emotions like grief so that we are able to keep ourselves as well as is well together. Stay well, stay safe, and of course, please continue to write to me at varkha@varkhachulani.com. Till next week, it's goodbye and thank you.